Well, hello, writers. Welcome to episode number 537 of Ink in Your Veins. I'm Rachel Herron, and I could not be more happy to bring you this particular podcast. This is one of my favorite episodes ever, out of 537. One of my most favorite episodes. We are talking with Paul Calandrino about imagining more deeply, and we're going to be talking about his wife, Cai Emmons. Please stick around for it. You do not want to miss this incredibly wonderful, connected, and inspiring conversation. So that is coming up. What's been going on around here? Little rough week. I was battling a migraine, so I lost some time. And then in a better turn of events, I just took most of Monday off because I could. I have been um, looking ahead to some time off that I want to take. And in New Zealand, most of the country takes all of January off, and it's always been one of my goals to take all of January off. But I just sat down the other day with my notes and with my trusty pen and started sketching out what it would look like for me to take January off, and it would look bad. It would, and not to anyone else. It doesn't work for me. There are things about my business that there are balls I need to keep up in the air, support that I am giving to other writers that I'm not willing to let go of. However, I do have a certain number of days off that I am allowed to take because earlier this year I wrote that contract for myself between the business and the talent. I am both. But I wrote that contract, and there are days I need to take these vacation days. So I have decided that I think this will work. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But for a lot of January and February, I'm going to be working 2 or 3 day work weeks. It is ambitious and it seems fun to be playing with this idea. And also at the same time, my brain goes, oh my gosh, and you're writing too. I have this other goal, and I guess I will say it out loud because I like to model to you, to everyone who is listening, that writers set goals. Writers set goals. And then writers miss goals. So that's what we do. We are so good at missing goals. We're so good at it. What we have to train at is getting good at not caring when we miss hitting the goals. And I'm almost an expert gold, what do they call this? A gold medal winning, not caring when I miss a goal. However, when I set up a brand new goal, I do always have in the back of my mind, oh, what if I don't hit it? But anyway, my goal is and this will be funny to only those of you who are in 12-step programs and especially in the alcohol 12-step program. But there is a phrase we use a lot called 90 in 90. And what that is short for is going to 90 meetings in 90 days, going to a meeting a day, basically, in order to get a lot of information, wisdom, friendship, meeting people in the rooms. And those first 90 days, which are so crucial, because the first 90 days of not partaking in a substance that you really want to partake in are hard. And it's really nice to do that with a lot of support. And then I cracked myself up because I thought I could do 90 and 90 for myself with expanding this chatter draft that I wrote in Nano, which is about 25,000 words, into 95,000 words. I'm just kind of considering that those 25,000 words are going to disappear as I rewrite them. So I want to write 90,000 words in the next 90 days. It's about 1,000 words a day. And I don't want to write as much on the weekends. I always fail at writing on the weekends. Mags, yes, I'm talking about you, Mags, is a member of Ink Village and comes to most of the writing guild sessions that we have when we write together on Zoom. And she has been knocking it out of the park with attending to her writing every day for more than a month now, right, Mags? Like without missing a day. I don't know when I have done that. I cannot think of a time in my life when I have done that. And I don't necessarily need to not miss a day. And let me break it down for you. Today's Thursday. On Tuesday, I came up with this plan. Mapped it all out, got all the mathing it up. I know exactly what I need to do. And on Wednesday, I had the migraine and stayed in bed and missed my writing for that day. So I had done one day in the chain. and then I broke the chain. I am really good at breaking the chain. And it is very possible that I won't make 90 and 90, but I'm going to try and I will keep you posted. So that is my next challenge to myself. We have opened something over at Ink Village, a channel called Challenge. It took over the Nano channel in Slack because the people who were partaking in Nano over in Ink Village, which is my subscription community, which I will tell you more about in a second, where you can jump into it if you want to. But the Nano channel just went off. We were having so much fun hitting these goals, making these goals, hitting them, not hitting them, struggling, whining, that we just want to keep that energy going. So that is going to be my challenge for the channel, and people can come up with whatever challenge they want and moving forward. So I'm very excited to be expanding this book. And now it is so Tuesday I wrote, Wednesday I didn't, Thursday I did. So now again, I'm one day in the chain. For me, a don't break the chain thing doesn't usually work very well because I will be really, really militant about not breaking a chain. And then if I miss one day, I'll never do it again. And I remember this because once I did 187 days of meditation in a row. I remember that because 187 is the penal code for murder. Um, but 187 days of meditation in a row. I missed one day because I was on an airplane and the time zones changed and it didn't sync up in my app, so I'd broken the chain and I did not meditate for like 3 years, or at least I didn't put it into an app. Did the same thing with writing. Sorry, with drawing. I think I did 160 or 190 days in a row of drawing when I was trying to learn how to draw. Still not good at it. As I don't do it, but missed a day, never did it again. So I need to kind of don't I need to not break the chain. However, that said, I still want a little bit of a chain. I like it. I like to do things daily-ish. And this 90 and 90 is something I'm excited about. So if you are interested in Ink Village, you can always look at that. Click the link in the show notes, rachaelheron.com/Ink Village, and it'll pop right up. Also, just want to tell you about briefly, Writing in the Junkyard is coming up. It's a 2-day retreat online in the comfort of your own home or wherever you want to be to do this 2-day retreat where we are just going to be writing a lot together on Zoom. It'll be guided. I'm not going to guide you through your work. You're going to be doing your work, but I will guide you through deciding what your best processes are and how best you can support yourself. And it's going to be super fun. The link for that is also in the show notes, rachaelheron.com/retreat if you want to look at that. Now let's jump into this incredible show, which I do not want to keep from you any longer. We've got a long bio here because I want to talk about Paul and Cai. So Paul is the person I'm talking to. Paul Calandrino is a playwright, educator, and actor based in Eugene, Oregon, where Cai and he lived until she died. Since she passed, he has been curating her literary legacy with the release of this book, and he is currently collecting her blog content into book form. Who is Cai Emmons? Cai was the author of 7 novels and a story collection, Vanishing. The Bells is her final novel. She held a BA from Yale and 2 MFAs, one from New York University in film and the other from University of Oregon in fiction. Before turning to fiction, she wrote plays and screenplays and was the winner of a Student Academy Award, an Oregon Book Award, and the Leapfrog Global Fiction Prize, a finalist for the narrative, the Missouri Review, and the Sarton Awards. And she taught at a variety of institutions, most recently in the creative writing program at the University of Oregon. The Bells, which features a protagonist with ALS, has just been released by Red Hen Press, and her final years are also the focus of an award-winning documentary, Vanishing, a Love Story, directed by Sandra Luckow. Please enjoy this interview. I know you will, and I can't wait to hear what you think about it. All right, here we go. Well, I am so pleased to welcome you to the show. Will you please share your name and pronouns with us?
Yes, I'm Paul Calandrino, he, him.
Thank you.
And yes, and we're talking about Cai Emmons, and her pronouns are she, her.
So I have been looking forward to talking to you on this show for a while since our mutual friend Ben acquainted us. And you are talking about your wife's literary legacy, really, is what we're talking about here. Her most recent works and her writing. And this is unlike a show I've ever had before. I've never had the partner of the, well, I will say the writing partner of a writer. beyond the show? And I know we're going to kind of freewheel through these questions as we are drawn, but I think where I would love to start is, can you tell us about Kai?
Well,
Impossible to ask, I know, but
there's so much to say.
yeah.
She was a consummate writer. She wrote, she lived for writing, and she started writing at a very early age. And she wrote all kinds of things. She wrote poetry when she was young. She wrote plays that were produced in New York. She wrote screenplays, went to NYU Film School, and then eventually landed on fiction, which was always her first love.
Mm,
And then once she started writing novels, she never looked back. And that's what she did until the day she died, literally. In 2001, she was diagnosed with um, ALS.
2001. So it was
2001,
a
yeah,
long time ago. Yeah.
yeah. And it was a particularly aggressive form of ALS, bulbar-onset ALS, which affects the respiratory system and the throat, swallowing, eating, that kind of thing first before it affects the limbs.
Mm,
And so um, she lost her voice, which was very dear to her early on in the illness. She loved to talk. She loved to teach, and so it was a particularly hard blow for her to lose her voice first. But she continued to write through her illness, which lasted about 2 years. And then when she reached a certain point in her life, she decided to exercise Oregon's death with dignity laws.
mhm.
And she took her own life. And the amazing thing is, all through her illness, she was working on her last novel called The Bells. And the morning before she ended her life through death with dignity, she sent the manuscript to her agent.
Oh my
She'd
goodness. Oh
she'd
my
finished
goodness.
it. She finished it. She set it off, and then we spent the rest of the day with friends and family, and she died.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so just clarifying the timeline, because I think you said 2001, but 2021 was probably when she was diagnosed. Because
Oh,
she,
yes,
okay, so she didn't
absolutely
live with
right.
it for 22 years. She lived with it for 2 years.
2 years.
Two
That's right.
years. And that's such a
2021.
rapid acceleration to lose her voice. And she was using voice to text. She was right that she was using the no, sorry, actually text to voice, the other way around,
Text to voice. Yeah.
is how she
She
was
had a couple
communicating.
of different devices, one on her
Mhm.
phone, and then also one on a tablet that she had. And so she used those quite expertly and successfully, was able to
Mhm.
communicate. She continued to do interviews and yeah, communicated that way. And all through so in the last 6 months of her life, there was a film made about her.
Mhm.
And all through the film, she's using the text to voice
And
device that
the
she,
and the film is called The Vanishing, a Love Story. Is that right?
Vanishing, a Love Story.
Vanishing, a Love Story.
Vanishing happens to be the title of one of her works of fiction, short story collection.
That's right. I saw that when I was looking through
Yeah.
her canon. Oh, how wonderful. What was it like to be a part of that documentary in what I can only imagine is the, hardest time of your life?
Well, Sandra Luckow, who made the film, had developed a friendship with Kai. They were both Yale alumni,
Mhm.
and they were both NYU Film School alumni.
Mm.
So they developed a, um, a Zoom relationship, friendship.
Mhm.
And when Kai no longer wanted to um, have Zoom meetings with Sandra because of her failing voice, um, and Kai got the diagnosis. Um, Sandra had the idea of coming out. Well, she was coming out to Oregon from New York anyway, and wanted to shoot some video. At first, she didn't envision it, I think, as a film.
Mhm.
But when she got here, the first thing Kai did was hand her a shot list. You
Oh
need
my
to
God.
film this and
Hil-
this and this and this.
Hilarious and
Yeah.
wonderful.
And so she started filming, and then pretty quickly it became apparent that it was going to be a feature-length documentary. And and we became friends with Sandra. She shot the entire film on an iPhone.
You're
Uh,
kidding.
no, a very tricked out iPhone with
Technology blows my mind.
special lenses and everything.
Yeah.
And she had some lighting and a microphone,
Mhm.
but she was very unobtrusive. And Kai and I were totally absorbed in the process of, you know, supporting her through the last stages of her life.
Mhm.
And so we hardly even noticed that Sandra was in the room.
And she was an old friend. It wasn't a stranger with all of their
Right.
lights and rigs and setup. It was your friend
Yeah.
hanging out.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so Kai's book, The Bells, came out just last month as we were talking.
Yeah.
Um, and you are doing the promotion for this now.
Yeah.
Did you know that this would be something that you would do when she turned in that manuscript?
Well, no. I mean, when she turned in the manuscript, she didn't know, I didn't know if it would be, if her agent would accept it
Yeah.
or if the agent would be able to, place it somewhere. But it very quickly, it became apparent that the agent was very interested. And then a publisher that Kai had developed a relationship with, Red Hen Press, was interested in publishing it immediately. And so then it fell to me to do everything that Kai normally did for her books,
Wow. Including revisions? How did revisions work?
including revisions.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, uh, when I submitted so when I heard back from Deborah, Kai's agent, we talked about, maybe me doing some proofreading and editing. And so what I did was I did some of that. But I also sent to Deborah uh, a couple of pages of notes
Mm-hmm.
that I would have given Kai
Mm-hmm.
if she were still alive, because I hadn't seen the manuscript before. I mean, I'd read versions of the novel before she sent it to Deborah, but I hadn't seen the final draft.
Mm-hmm.
So I read the final draft and I came up with all these notes and I sent them to Deborah. And Deborah was like, "Yeah, go ahead, make these changes." I had suggested some subtle changes, in the first part of the book, and then some little more extensive changes,
Uh-huh.
like as a matter of fact, even including a new chapter, a very brief, like
Yeah.
two-page chapter that I
Yeah.
thought was necessary.
It
Um,
feels I feel like a real gift in a way to receive from Kai and from the publisher, like, because I can only imagine that, reading your late wife's final manuscript would be the worst, except you have a job. You have a job
right.
and you get to sit down and
Yes.
you get to do this job for a person that you love and you get to do that.
And I get to be with her. I get to be
Yeah.
inside
Yeah.
Kai's mind.
Yeah.
And so I started working on that. And then I decided, I read through the manuscript a couple more times. And then I decided I'm going to read it aloud to myself, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did that, it it became clear to me that my changes were not needed.
Oh.
It was actually it was absolutely
Wow.
perfect the way it was. Not
Oh,
perfect, but
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, that's gorgeous. So then you've been through the whole process,
mhm.
doing what Kai would normally do. I did go over to Red Hen Press and look at their website, and I was just, prowling around like I do when I'm doing the background research for the show. And I noticed that there's a Cai Emmons award.
Yes, through Red Hen Press, there's
Yeah,
Cai Emmons
fiction
fiction
award.
contest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's another one, a local writing organization in Oregon, Wordcrafters, also has a competition, in Kai's name,
That's
um,
incredible.
which is nice. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about her process. What was her writing process
Her
for
writing,
yeah, for most of her life, and how did that change towards the end?
okay. Yeah, she always wrote longhand.
What?
Uh,
One of
always wrote
those.
longhand.
One of those. I always look
In
up to those.
bed,
Oh,
in bed in the morning with a pen and a pad of paper.
that's so
And
romantic.
and in the mornings, I would serve her coffee. Our coffee maker was right there in the bedroom.
It's
I
getting more and
just
more romantic here. Yes.
turn it on. Coffee would brew. I'd give her a cup of coffee, set her up in bed for most of her
Yeah.
life, and then vacate the premises for
Good man.
2, 3, 4 hours, and she would just be in there writing.
Wow.
And then I'd serve her breakfast, and she'd get on with the day.
Hmm.
Um, So, yeah, she wrote longhand. Her writing was very, very tiny, and she would write page after page after page after page until she got this big stack of pages. And then the task of typing it all in would seem daunting to her. Maybe
Yes.
she'd have 100 handwritten pages, and then she would type it all in. And I asked her, pleaded with her many times, why don't you just get somebody to type that
Yeah.
up for you?
Yeah.
And she said, no, I rewrite as I'm typing it up.
I've known other writers that is a part of that's their first revision in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she would do that. And then ultimately she'd have a first draft. She might, or I was her first reader. So she might or might not share that first draft with me.
Mhm.
She usually held her cards close to her chest until she had a completed manuscript. Sometimes, if she had half a manuscript, she might let me see it, but normally she waited until she was done. She might do another rewrite. And her process of rewriting was very interesting. She would always do what she called a page one rewrite,
Oh
especially
my goodness. Yeah, tell me more.
early on in the writing process. What she would do is she would take her typed pages, she would take her writing pad, and she would reference her typed pages, but then she would write the whole novel out again longhand.
That I have never heard. That I've been your 500 and something episodes in this show, and I've
Right?
heard of the longhand, but I've never heard a double longhand.
Might be double, might be triple.
Holy crap.
Um, and this is just the way her mind worked,
Yeah.
best. How her creativity was stimulated was through writing,
Hmm.
with her pen and
But then
pad.
she had to go to put it back in again.
She
She had
had
to
to
type
type
it
it
all.
all.
Oh. Wow, but it worked. It worked for her.
It really worked for her. Yes. She's
So
the
then,
only
yeah.
writer I know who really loved rewriting. She loved it.
Oh, I love rewriting. It's my
Oh, good.
revision is the only place I'm happy. That's
Yeah.
but not all that typing in of handwritten. But I do think it is just like the most romantic vision. So then when her body started to change and let her down, I know her voice was one of the first things to go.
Mhm.
Her typing skills stayed pretty far into it. Is that right?
Pretty far into it.
Yeah.
And then toward the end, in the last couple of months, she had to do just hunt and peck.
Mm.
And so then that was the only time in our relationship that she allowed me to type her manuscript, which
Mm.
was just a wonderful thing to be able to do.
Hmm.
And then we were like more engaged that way.
Hmm.
I would ask her about what certain words were, and she'd go, I don't know. uh, but we could talk about the the manuscript as I typed it up.
How long were you together?
We moved in together in 2004,
Uh-huh.
and we met each other at the Squaw Valley Community of Writers in 1993.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, wonderful. Now when she was drafting, I know she, kept her manuscript, the early manuscripts close to her chest, but were you a couple that would discuss plot points and characters
We
over the
were,
dinner table?
yes,
Yeah.
but only in very general terms. Kai usually would start working on a story when she had a couple of obsessions going at once that melded together.
Oh yes, I know the feeling. You know the feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she'd get these things like, I think for the bells, it was she was obsessed with the idea of evil because of the current state of affairs in the
Mm,
United States,
yep.
and all the political and social things that are happening. She was fascinated with the idea of evil, and then also one time we went to our niece's wedding for in Denver we were there for about a week, and we met the groom's brother who was a priest, and that fascinated Guy, meeting a priest in kind of like ordinary life.
Yeah.
And so that became the basis for Niall O'Malley in her novel.
Oh, the main character even. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. So I think I will try to ask you more of these questions. And if we ask a normal question for this podcast that you just don't know the answer to, that's absolutely fine. But
yeah.
do you know or were you going to say more or
No,
am
no,
I
go
cutting
ahead.
off? Okay. Do you know what Kai might have said the most exciting thing was that she ever realized about her writing process? Or one of the exciting things. I don't want to
Well, I was going to say
limit
her her delight in rewriting, um, when she discovered that she loved probably rewriting better than composing originally. That was a thing that she just reveled in.
It's she and I would have had a lot to talk about. I feel like for me, it's always the most creative part. It's when writing gets really, really fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, getting the crap out of
she
the way and then figuring out what the
e-
book wants to be.
exactly, and she taught that to me, and I try
Mm,
to teach that to my playwriting students.
mhm.
That the real work happens in revision.
Yeah, the most joyful stuff. What part of writing did
Exactly.
she struggle with?
Well, I think probably the business aspect of it. I
Mhm.
mean, she jumped into it with her whole heart and soul, and but there was a period of about 7 years between her second and third novels being
Mhm.
published, and so that was a very difficult time for her. Um, and
Did she have books in that time that didn't sell, or was she struggling to finish a book? Yeah, that's the hardest.
at least two.
Yeah.
And she'd had books, she'd written novels before her first novel was published. And so that was difficult. And then the process of, I think with her first two books, they were with, big five publishers,
Mhm.
and they set her on publicity tours, reading tours, and they assigned her a publicist and everything. And then slowly over the years, that changed in the industry,
Oh yeah.
and so she had to do more and more of that herself. So she took all kinds of webinars and classes and hired publicists and did a lot of legwork. And I think that didn't come naturally to her, but
Hmm.
she did
Yeah.
it. She had to do it.
Wow. Oh, amazing. Okay, this might be. I don't know how you're going to answer this. I'm just going to ask.
Okay,
Can you share a writing craft tip that she would want to give us? You've already shared kind of, get the draft out and then the fun
right,
comes in the revision. But what else
right.
would she say to writers?
Well, one thing that she said that always helped me, and I know she said it to her students a lot. She taught at the U of O in the creative writing department. And I'm not sure where she got this, but she always used to say, "Imagine more deeply." You
Ooh.
know, when you're writing fiction, sometimes what you're writing can seem unfleshed out,
Mm-hmm.
can
Mm-hmm.
seem kind of shallow or transparent or something, not having body. And or if sometimes if you're having trouble developing a character or finishing a scene or something like that, she would always say, imagine more deeply. It was just like a thought exercise. Just think, imagine into the scene, the character, whatever.
That makes so much sense to me. And it
Yeah,
it reinforces that old idea that, the more specific we are on the page, the more universal the piece
exactly.
is to somebody.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
easy to say surface and not get deep, especially in those earlier drafts.
right.
Imagine more deeply. What a wonderful, beautiful phrase.
And then also, if students were having trouble with their revisions, and were not sitting down at the typewriter or wherever they sat, um, she would encourage people. This was a personal mantra of hers, and it's a personal mantra of mine now. She would say, "Just show up and be open.
Hmm.
Just sit down and be open to whatever comes to you." And
Yeah.
it works for me.
It reminds me of that Martha Graham quote, keep the channel open no matter what. Keep the channel
Right,
open.
right,
Yeah. Just show up and be open. Those are imagine more deeply and just show up and be open. Those could be the only things you need to know about
right.
writing right there. That
Yeah,
there's your novel getting done.
yeah.
What do you think is the kindest thing she ever did for herself as a writer?
Well, she was a kind person
Mhm.
and she was kind to herself.
Good for her. That's
She,
hard for a lot of us.
yes, yes. And so I think the thing that she loved more than anything else was to escape from her daily life and go to writing residencies. She
Oh,
went to
yes.
Playa in Central Oregon many, many times.
Hmm.
She went to several others. She went to a residency in France
Ooh.
once and loved it there. She loved getting away and not having to deal with the phone, the email, whatever. She would, I mean, naturally she would check in, but
Of
she
course, but
loved she loved doing that.
yeah.
And our favorite thing to do together was every year we would go to the San Juan Islands. We'd rent a house on the bay, on Davis Bay, on Lopez Island for 1, 2, 3 weeks.
Mm.
And it was just like a mutual writing retreat. And she would write in the bedroom. I would go out into the sunroom and write. And we just loved that because then in the afternoons we could go bike riding, hiking, kayaking, whatever. And it was just idyllic.
That sounds heavenly to be doing that together and then having the smugness. I love this kind of smugness. It's like I wrote and now I get to go play. There's,
Right.
there's nothing,
Yeah.
there's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about a specific moment or moments that you think that she knew she had ink in her veins? Because she obviously was a person with ink
In
blood.
her veins, in
Yeah.
her veins, on our sheets, on the pillow, on her hands, ink everywhere. But I think, and she spoke about this. There were two things that happened when she was 9 years old.
Hmm.
One was she had a teacher, Mr. Vogel, who and I forget what grade that might have been, 9 years old, like fourth grade or something.
Hmm.
And Mr. Vogel used to make the class write um, a personal essay every day.
Every day.
Every day. Didn't have
I
to be
love that.
much.
Yeah.
There were no constraints on it. Could be just a page, could be a
It could be
paragraph,
I hate
whatever.
peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and here's why. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, like I say, Kai loved to talk and loved to tell stories. And so this daily exercise of writing really charged her up for
Mm.
the rest of her life. I mean, she loved to express herself on the page. And she got a lot of encouragement from Mr. Vogel. And so she never stopped writing after that.
I love that.
Also, in when she was 9, uh, a, she read a book called The Trouble with Jenny's Ear. And I'm spacing on the author's name now. But so it was about a girl who gets a set of earphones. This was like in 1961, so earphones were like a new thing. And and she puts them on, and all of a sudden she realizes she can start hearing people's thoughts.
I love it.
And this just thrilled Kai
Oh.
and got her thinking about what you could do in a story, how you could tell stories, how you weren't constrained to actual facts or the empirical world. And I think from Kai's third novel on, there was always some element of, you could call it magical realism, but
Mhm.
it might be a completely normal world except for one quirky little thing.
Mm.
And I think that that stuck with her for the rest of her life too.
I love that you know these answers so deeply. And I again, this is, a novel situation that was not supposed to be a pun, of having you here and Kai not here, and the ink in her veins, just thinking about this fact that sending the book to her agent was one of the very last things she did. Was that, if you don't mind my asking, is that why that day had been chosen? Or was that some, it was a kind of coincidence, or she was hurrying? How did that all line up?
She was hurrying because
Yeah.
she had decided to end her life on January 15th,
Mm,
2023.
hmm
And and on New Year's Eve, couple of, that year, we had a horrible experience in the hospital. She had to go to the ER, and it was a brutal night.
mm,
And we got home the next day, New Year's Day, and she said, "I can't wait until the 15th."
mm,
So we decided that we would do it the next. That she decided that she would do it the next day,
hmm
the second, and her sisters flew out from other places in the country, and we set up a Zoom, and it happened. But so she wasn't necessarily planning on sending
hmm
the manuscript to her agent on the second, but she buttoned it up and set it off that morning.
and because death with dignity was what she wanted and deserved,
Yeah.
not putting that off. Um, and didn't she have, was it, I can't remember where I read this now, but didn't she sell two books just after she was diagnosed? Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh my
Your face.
gosh.
Most people listen to this, on a podcast, not on the video. The video will go
Yeah.
out there, and your face was just perfect as you just remembered that.
It's a wonderful story. We were in a hospital waiting room, waiting for Kai's surgery to get Kai's feeding tube
Mhm.
inserted into her stomach. And we were just waiting in the room. By then, she couldn't talk. All she could do is kind of emit a ah,
Mhm.
ah, was the sound that she could make. So we're sitting there, and I'm on my phone. She's on her phone. She has two manuscripts into her agent. One had been there for a while, one, more recently. And so all of a sudden I hear, ah! I'm going, what? What happened? And so she shows me her phone, and it's from her agent saying, "We just sold Unleashed to Dutton." they're very interested in it. And so we're all happy and we're hugging and everything. Then we get taken into the prep room for her surgery, and they get her all settled in, and we're settled into our phones again. And all of a sudden I hear, ah! And I say, what? And she shows me the email from Deborah saying, you're not going to believe this, but Livid has just been sold to Red Hen within 20 minutes of each other.
Oh my God. Best hospital experience ever.
Ever.
I bet no one has that story. No one in the whole world
I
has
can't
that
imagine.
story. Oh, that is incredible. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Um, what I usually at this point ask what is the best book that you've read recently? Do you know a book that she loved that she would recommend to people all over the place?
Um, well, I don't know what she was reading recently. I was her primary caregiver, so
Hmm.
I was really focused on that.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure how much reading she was doing at
Hmm.
the end there. I think she was really more focused on writing. One of her favorite writers of all time is Alice McDermott.
Oh
And
yeah.
so anything that Alice McDermott wrote, her other favorite for many, many years was Virginia Woolf.
Mm.
And then there were lots of other writers that she loved, and
Mm.
I wish she were here to tell you about them.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, me too. Can you tell us a little bit about the bells, please?
Okay, The Bells didn't start out as The Bells. When Kai was writing it, she had a different title for it. It was Dual, Duel, comma,
Oh,
Dual.
DUAL. Yeah.
And there was very little love for that title among the agents and publishers.
I like the bells better.
Yeah,
Dual
and
to look at is good. I like to look at it, but to say it is harder.
to say it, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of mysterious. So one of the things I did when I was working on the manuscript was to suggest the bells because the bells do figure prominently in the book, as well as the Edgar Allan Poe
Hmm.
poem of that name. And so The Bells is about Niall O'Malley, a 30-something New Jersey inner city school history teacher. Um, and he is adjusting to his new life as a teacher after having spent 5 years in a monastery. He was called to the monastery because of, you know, maybe thinking about evil in the world, thinking about his religiosity, his relationship with God. And so he went in, into the monastery. But little by little, in the telling of the front story of the bells, we learned that there was difficulty at the monastery, particularly a conflict with another one of the monks, Brother Thomas, who made his life miserable in the monastery. And so he left the monastery and his calling feeling defeated. And now in his new life, he's also feeling defeated. So the book is describes the process of him trying to figure out what it is about him and not his location or his vocation that is causing such anguish in him.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And that can be found where all fine books are sold by
Yep.
Cai Emmons. Would you like, and I do want to take a moment um, to honor the fact that you are also a writer. Yeah, what are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm working on, I have a new play. Well, let me say, when I met Kai, we were both fiction writers, and then reading her work disabused me of my calling in that respect. But I had always been involved in theater anyway.
Yeah.
And so at a certain point, I had a story idea and it seemed like a play. Um, the play won a couple of awards, was produced, and so I really kind of found my way
Mm.
back to what my first love was, theater. So currently, I have a play that's going to be produced by Oregon Contemporary Theater in February, March of
Congratulations.
next year. Yeah. It'll be the world premiere, and it's called The Fifth Hypothesis,
Ooh.
and it's about a Bigfoot researcher
I'm in.
who is tempted to accept a large sum of money through an inheritance from her brother if she will just disavow her crazy beliefs in Bigfoot.
Oh, that's
So,
good.
yeah,
What is that called?
it's called The Fifth
Oh, you
Hypothesis.
said that already. Yes, that's a
Yeah.
it's such a good title.
Well, it's based on the work of a Bigfoot uh, researcher, John Bindernagel, who was a PhD in anatomy, and he laid out all of the different hypotheses that explained Bigfoot. You know, myth, misidentified bear, hoax, all those things. But the fifth hypothesis was that Bigfoot was a real animal that lived
Mm.
in North America. So,
Mm. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah.
All right. Where can we find Kai online? Where can we find you online? Where can we find the documentary online? To give us all that stuff. And I'll put it in the show notes too.
Okay. So you can find Kai at kaiemmons.com or kaiemmonsauthor.com.
Is
They
that
go
where
to the same
is her
place.
blog hosted there as well?
Her blog is hosted there too, The Entangled Writer.
Mhm.
And she has a Substack now
Mhm.
that I have created with the help of the publicist. And so that's where her newsletter comes out of.
Mhm.
And she's on Instagram, and I think it might be Cai Emmons or Cai
Mhm.
Emmons author. I should have looked this up, but
No, I'll find it easy.
okay. Yeah. So
And how
yeah,
about where are you?
I'm on, I have an old website that
I
needs
see your
updating.
hesitation.
And I'm on, Insta and Facebook and whatnot.
And
But
how
I'm
about
just,
the, oh, sorry, go on.
no, I was just going to say I'm a local playwright. So
That's a lovely kind to be. And how about the documentary? Where can we find out
the
about that?
documentary is still in the festival circuit
Mhm.
and is in search of a distribution
Mhm.
contract and getting close. It's the film is winning all kinds of awards: best of festival, best direction, best editing,
Wow.
and so it's getting all these. The poster now has is like the image is crowded out by all the laurels. So soon we're thinking it will be available either online or in theaters, and so.
And I will link
It,
to the site for that too, because I think there I saw on there was a newsletter, sign up to be notified of
yes,
things that are happening with it. So
there
so
is.
if
Yeah,
anybody's interested in this, they can sign up and then they will get to know when it is coming out in greater distribution. So
it's an amazing film. It's really a portrait of Kai um, living while dying with
yeah,
ALS,
yeah.
and the power, beauty, grace, and intelligence with which she faces, and creativity with which
Mhm.
she faces this terminal illness.
Mm. Thank you so much for sharing your time and her work with us.
Well,
It
thank you for
really means
having
the
me.
world.
Yeah,
You are
thank you
very
so much.
welcome.